Good morning to all of you and happy Pongal, dear students and friends. Our legal topic for today is regarding the Special Marriage Act 1954. Actually, it was introduced by Henry Maine in 1872. There was a lot of commotion at the time. So many religions, so many elders objected for the same. Anyway, once it is made into an act, it has come into force in year 1954, Special Marriage Act. Now, the Allahabad High Court, single judge bench, Justice Vivek Chaudhary, he held that notice, that is compulsory notice under section 6 of the Special Marriage Act is only optional. It is not compulsory. Previously it was compulsory. In other words, I can tell you that if persons of interreligion want to marry, then they have to give a compulsory notice of 30 days in advance, and the sub-registrar will publish it, and if anybody gives objection, then he will decide, and then only he will perform the so-called marriage. So 30 days advance notice is compulsory as per Special Marriage Act 1954 previously. Now the Allahabad High Court held it. It is only optional. It should be optional. It's not compulsory. Of course, tomorrow Supreme Court may some more things also. But anyway, as far as we are concerned, this is the judgment given by the Allahabad High Court. You can read it as the case of course, it's a writ petition number 16,907 by 20. So you can read this case as Safia Sultana alias Simran. Safia Sultana versus State of UP, and this was decided on 12/1/2021, very latest judgment. Why I am making this video is, in the initial stage itself, I want to tell you. When we were discussing such instance of special marriage between two religious people, then when we asked him to go to the sub-registrar office and give the notification so that they have to give the notice within 30 days like that, and he said, what about my privacy? Suppose if I disclose the fact that I am going to marry this woman, definitely the other people, they will chase me, they will definitely threaten me so much of it should not be publicized. But we said we can't help. That is the act. You have to follow. Of course, they could not marry. I don't know what happened to them. I am not. They did not come to me later. But same topic has once again. As a young man who posed a question to me, same topic has to come to my notice. Therefore, I am making this judgment. Right. Now, let's go into the facts of the case. So, actually, the petitioner, through her husband, she filed this writ petition. Her name is originally Safia Sultana or Sofia Sultana, Muslim woman. She converted to Hindu religion and renamed as Simran, and she married a Hindu. As per the Hindu, she married actually. As per Hindu tradition, they wanted to marry, but since she is a Muslim, they wanted to conduct this marriage and Special Marriage Establishment Act. It's a different thing. Now, they have gone to the special marriage, this thing, and they have given notice also. This has come to the notice of the father. Now, the father forcibly took her into his custody, and he is not allowing her to go to the husband's house. Now, she, through her husband, filed this writ petition. Of course, the Honorable Court called both the father and also this woman. She is already a major, right? So, both of them appeared before Allahabad High Court, before Justice Vivek Chaudhary. Then she said she wanted to go and meet the husband, and father also readily accepted. He allowed her later go. She is not mentioned. Finish. That would have ended, but there she disclosed her pathetic story of 30 days notice how her right to privacy has been, right to their privacy has been violated. She has been telling, right? So the matter would have ended there, but for the views expressed by the young couple that 30 days notice violated their privacy, and as a result she was confined in her home. So this challenge is being faced by so many people of the same type. So that is lovers and inter-caste or inter-religion marriage people, right? So already the UP government, already you may be knowing, it has prohibited the prohibition of unlawful conversion of religion ordinance 2020. So it prohibits the conversion for the marriage purpose. Already it is there. This is another hurdle. This is what they want to express. For example, if you want to conduct a marriage under Hindu Marriage Act, no necessity for 30 days notice. Simply straight away you can go to the register office, get registered. You can call a purohit, go to a temple, perform the marriage. That's all. There is no necessity for 30 days notice. So this is the point they raised. Is it not violation of the privacy? Is it not violation of Article 21 of the Constitution of India? Is it not violation of the right of freedom to choose a person of his choice or her choice against the intervention of the state or the caste elders like that? Definitely. Now the Allahabad High Court agreed. Now let us have a quick look at the sections. Special Marriage Act, already I told you, Henry Maine, he has introduced it in 1872. Then it was restructured in 1954. Now, Section 5, Notice of Intended Marriage. So, the parties to the marriage shall give notice 30 days in advance. Then Section 6, marriage officer shall notify the same, and it is published in a conspicuous place of the registration office or anywhere he likes. Section 7, if anybody wants to objection, yes, they can raise objections. Then Section 8, so after going through the objections, of course, if there are any valid objections, the registration officer shall not perform the marriage. If the objections are not true, then definitely he can perform the marriage, right? So this is according to Section 8. After taking into objections into consideration, if they are correct, he cannot perform. If they are not correct, definitely he can perform. Suppose even though he actually transgresses or he did not care the real objections, then he is liable for punishment under Section 46. If he conducts the marriage by wrongful means, he is liable for punishment for 1 year or 5,000 rupees fine, like that. So this is the act. So at the initial instance, I told you why this 30 days notice is compulsory is because normally the persons of interfaith or interreligion, they have to be interreligion. So it should be noted to the public. It should be noted to the others for encouragement, or also for objections if any. That means you are following the principles of natural justice. So it is done by the golden rule of interpretation. So the publication of notice under Section 6 was made mandatory by the golden rule of interpretation by the Supreme Court. Of course, Law Commission in I think it has already stated, I think 59th report or so, it stated that this Hindu Marriage Act, all these things are dating back. This notice and other things are about 1872 Act. Of course, we study it as 1954. So 150 years back. Now the situation is totally different. There is absolutely no necessity for the so-called advance notice, 30 years, all this. But still, this is being continued. Now, Allahabad High Court has clearly stated that the Section 5 should be liberally interpreted and it shall be optional. That means, while going for registration, the parties can offer to publicize, or then say we don't want any publication of that 30 days notice. And of course, the sub-registrar or the marriage officer has got every power to check up the age, to check up the caste, to check up the religion, and to check up the intention of the parties also. Then he can perform the marriage. If he has got an objection, definitely he can stop it. So when all these things are there, why this mandatory notice of 30 months? So it should be a quash. That means it is only simply made optional. So the parties can make a request to publish or not to publish notice. So marriage officer can otherwise also verify the competency of the parties for the marriage. So this is a good judgment, particularly for youngsters. Please read it thoroughly and enrich your knowledge. Please, thank you very much.